morning, class. I will be one of your demo teachers for this week. My topic will be all about the nervous tissues, the histology of the nervous tissues, the organization of nervous system, as well as the electrical signals in neurons. Before we will going to discuss our topics, I would like to have few reminders that there are some words or key terms that I haven't put in my module that I will going to discuss here in our video. So, let's start. Class, before we will going to start our lesson, I would like to ask you some few questions. How's life? Did you get enough sleep? Were you been mad this past few days like you wanted to punch the person? Or were you been so excited to go on an outing? Or shall we say like playing soccer or basketball with your friends? While drinking coffee, your tongue got burned? So all of those things have something to do with our topic for today, which is the nervous system. Nervous system have three basic functions in our body. It is responsible for sensory input, the motor input, and the integration input. The sensory input, it has something to do with our five senses, which are the sense of sight, smell, taste, hearing, and touch. So in the motor output, it has something to do with the coordination of our muscles, and the integration input, it has something to do with the coordination of the sensory and the motor output. For example, like you're playing a soccer in the field, as your eyes saw the ball is running towards you, then it sends signal to your brain on what to do, which is to kick the ball, and the coordination of these things is what we call the integration input. And now class, let's go to neurons and neuroglia. Do you know class that our brain are made up of billions of neurons? So without the neuroglia, the neurons cannot do its function. Or if it can, para kay mga nakahang na robot, because this neuroglia will going to help the neurons to pass the signals, the electrical signals to the brain immediately and efficiently. Do you know class that our neurons may vary on structure, shapes, and sizes depending on its function and location in our body? Just like for example this one, I haven't put any label yet. So this one is called the dendrites. This is the body cells. It contains nucleus. It has the genetic information of our body. This one is axon. It is myelinated. This the black one. And it will going to send signal to here. Is it possible class? I will going to give you one scenario. For example, a mosquito bite you, whether it's in your hand, in your foot, or in any part of your body. So for example, this is the dendrites. The dendrites will going to send signal. The sending of signal is called the neurotransmitter. It will going to send signal here in the body cells. Depende kung saan parte ng katawan nyo nakagat ng lamok. Alangan naman yung paa nyo yung nakagat, tas yung kamay nyo yung sasakit. Kaya hindi yun ganon. So, that one will going to transfer the signal here in the axon. So, the myelin, it has a rule which is to make the transmission of the signal quickly and efficiently. So, hanggang sa makarating na siya dito, it will going to reach the part of the body kung saan yung nakagat ng lamok. It sends signal to your brain, and your brain will going to send signal to your body again on what to do. Your brain sends signal to your body on what to do. Nasa sa inyo na lang yun kung papatay nyo ba yung lamok or titingnan nyo na lang. Let's go to the neuroglial cells. Without the neuroglial cells, your neurons cannot do its function properly. The neuroglial cells will going to support the functions of the neurons by sending its signals to your brain and your body. There are 4 types of neuroglial cells that can be seen in the central nervous system. These are the oligodendrocytes, astrocytes, ependymal cells, and the microglial cells. The peripheral nervous system, we have the satellite cells and the Schwann cells. Microglial cells class, it is responsible for the immunity of your nervous system. Lahat ng mga foreign substances or anything that will going to harm your nervous system, kinukuha yon ng microglial cells. Your ependymal cells is responsible in producing cerebral spinal fluid. This fluid allows the movement of the flagellum of your nerve cells. Diba, sa nakita nyo, parang may mga buto sila magalaw ganyan sa videos. Yun. Without this fluid, those cells cannot move. The oligodendrocytes class, it can secrete myelin that will make the transmission of signals and information to your brain faster and efficient. So, the most fascinating things about the oligodendrocytes is that it can heal the damaged part of the neurons. Remember class, it can heal. While the astrocyte is attached to your capillaries, it absorbs the food materials in your capillaries and transfer it to your neurons so that your brain can function. So, the astrocyte, it acts like a barrier between the blood and your neurons. In your peripheral nervous system, the satellite cells has the same function as the astrocytes, while the Schwann cells has the same function as the oligodendrocytes. Our brain class have what we call the white matter and the gray matter. In white matter, we have the myelin, it is myelinated, while in the gray matter, it is not. The myelin, as we all know, that it makes the transmission of signals and information efficiently and faster. While in the white matter, we do not have the body cells, while in the gray matter, we have this. The body cells contains the genetic informations in our neurons. In white matter, there is no synapse, while in the gray matter, we have the same synapse. It's like what I have here, this one. The synapse, it acts like a communication tools between the two neurons when they are interacting and communicating with one another. Now class, let's go to the organization of the nervous system. Our nervous system is divided into two parts, which are the central nervous system, it is from the brain and the spinal cord. While the peripheral nervous system, it is started from here and down to the body. The somatic nervous system class, it is made up of nerves in your body that is connected to your skin and sensory organs as well as to all of your skeletal muscles. It is responsible for nearly all of the muscle voluntary movements. It also processes the sensory informations from the external stimuli such as hear, touch, and your sight. Note class, when the information from your nerve cells are transmitted to your central nervous system, these are what we call the afferent. When the information are sent down from the central nervous system down to your nerves of your body, it is what we call the efferent. The second part of your peripheral nervous system, it is the autonomic nervous system. It regulates all of the involuntary physiological process including the heart rate, your blood pressure, respiration, and the sexual arousal. It automatically works without the consciousness or the conscious effort of human. The autonomic nervous system is subdivided into two parts. These are the sympathetic and parasympathetic. Sympathetic, it is responsible for preparing your body for physical and mental activities, while the parasympathetic, it controls your activity when you are at rest. This point class, we're going to discuss our last topic for today, which is the electrical signals in neurons. So, in this topic, we're going to meet the term electrical synapse. This conveys the signals through gap junctions. What is gap junction? It is the watery protein tunnels that permits the ions and the other small chemicals to pass from one cell to another. In electrical synapse, ions pass from one presynaptic cells through gap junction to propagate the action potentials. Take this one for example. The area here is what we call the synapse. So, this one is the synaptic cleft. Synapses are quick and efficient because the action potential spreads between the neighboring cells easily from one membrane to another region. Let's take this one for example. The one that sends information is a presynaptic neurons. The one that receives is a prosynaptic neurons. The invisible area here is what we call the synapse. This one that receives information is what we call the synaptic cleft. So, imagine nyo na lang class, parang bola-bola dyan, tapos isasend nila yung information sa papunta dito, parang nako-communicate lang sila because as we all know, the neurons, they also communicate to pass the information from one cell to another to do their duties and functions in our nervous system. So, that will be all class for our topic. I hope you find this video a very interesting and informative one.